Hey everyone, in this video we're going to talk about an issue that every Etsy seller faces at some point, and that's what to do when a customer messages you and says they've received an item that's broken or damaged. How do you know what to do between the customer and the print-on-demand platform that you work with? What type of proof is needed? How do you know whether to give them a refund or tell them a replacement is on the way? And how do you coordinate all of that between different print-on-demand providers? We're going to talk about all that and more for a couple different platforms. We'll look at Printify and Printful and how the support process works. So stick around and let's dive in. All right, so we've all gotten this message at some point. The customer has received their item, but unfortunately it is broken or damaged, or there's just generally something wrong with it. And so, what do we do? How do we reach out to the providers and coordinate between the customer? Let's take a look at two examples. We're going to use the situation of a broken mug because that is probably the easiest example for us to start with as far as handling that scenario. So let's jump into those two examples, and we're going to start with how I respond to the customer depending on what information they're providing me. And then we'll take a look at going through the process of reaching out for support on both Printful and Printify. All right, so here's our first example of the customer messaging us through Etsy and telling us that they received their mug and unfortunately it was broken. And so they've already provided us with two pictures in this first message, and they actually already also told us what they want, what their preferred resolution is. In that they're basically asking for a replacement here. So that's great, but if the customer hadn't indicated what they want, or if they hadn't provided photos already, that would change the way I respond. So let's pretend for 1 second that they didn't provide me with photos. The way I would start to respond to this is, first of all, I'm going to apologize. I always start messages like this or responses to these situations by apologizing, and I recommend that you do the same. It's just a good customer service practice to apologize that the customer has received something in poor condition or broken. So I'll start off by saying something like, "Hello, I'm very sorry that you received it in this condition. I apologize for the issue." Now, if they hadn't provided photos, I would then ask for them to provide a couple photos. And I would usually say something like, "Would you mind providing me a couple of photos showing the damage? Because I like to provide them to our mug supplier to let them know about the issue as well." And then I usually close out the message by saying, "I'd be happy to provide a replacement for you as soon as you can provide me those photos." And then that would be how I would respond, and I'd wait for the photos to come through before I went and proceeded with the platform. But in this case, they already provided me photos, and they even already told me that that they actually want a replacement instead of a refund. So the way I would actually respond to this message would be, again, start with the apology. "I'm very sorry that you received it in that condition. I apologize for the issue. I'd be happy to provide you a replacement. I will be in touch with the tracking number as soon as your replacement ships." And sometimes I also throw in a comment in there about, "I appreciate you providing me the photos." And that's it. Hit send. And now we can actually go work with the platform. In this case, we'll go to Printify and submit the issue, submit the request to get a reprint or a replacement issued. And I'm not going to come back here to message this customer again until I have that tracking number. Okay, so now let's go ahead and submit our request on this order. You open the order on your Printify orders page, and then you're going to look for the Submit Issues link, which is going to be under the tracking information, kind of down around where the details button is. So find Submit Issue and click on that. That will pop up another menu on the side here. You know what? I'm going to make myself disappear so that you can actually see this because it shows up on the right side. So the first thing you're going to do is select item A or choice A. There's a problem with my ordered products, and hit OK. And then it's going to take you to step 2, which is to provide photos. So hit continue. And then when this window pops up here, click anywhere in the gray box to upload your first photo. And this is the only photo that's required. You have to provide at least one photo. So once you do that, you hit OK. And then it will take you to the rest of the photo options. You can always upload the additional photos that the customer provided. I think there's a maximum here of 5 photos, but these are all optional. It's just that first one that's required. Then when we get to step 3, we're going to enter the description for Printify to know exactly what happened here. So I'm going to say, "Mug arrived broken. Customer would like a replacement." And then I hit OK from there. And that will take me to the next step where I just basically reconfirm that what I want is a reprint. And it takes me to the next step. Here, I'm going to confirm that the shipping address for that replacement is the same, and then I would click the submit button. All right, so it's that simple. As far as the Printify process, now I just wait for a response. Normally, as long as the photos that you provided are clear, you can see your design on it to identify the product, and it's obvious that it was broken. In this example, the handle had fallen off, so it was pretty obvious that it was broken. Normally, they will respond pretty quickly, and they'll let you know that they've created a reprint order, which you'll then be able to see on your orders page. And then from there, I'm just going to wait for that order to ship, and I'm going to go back to that message on the Etsy platform and let the customer know that their replacement shipped and provide them the tracking number. I have a great track record of following this process and customers really appreciating the communication and the follow-up and just the resolution of the issue. Customers just tend to appreciate you doing all that legwork for them and getting them the replacement. Now let's look at a second example where the customer is asking for something different. All right, in this example, we've actually got a customer messaging us about another broken mug, but this time it was a chip out of the mug instead of a broken handle. And they're also giving you some slightly different information than that first example. They're telling you that this was a birthday gift, and so, it wasn't opened right away. Maybe that's why there was a little bit of a delay in reporting this to you. So in this case, how do I respond? Well, I'm going to pay special attention to the information they already gave me. So I know it was a gift, and I know they're asking me about the return or refund policy. So they're not really saying which one they want. So I'm going to have to clarify that with them before I reach out to the print on demand platform, because I need to know what they want before I go and submit a request. So the first thing I'm going to do is apologize again. I'm so sorry about this issue. I'm sorry that it was received in this condition. And then I'm going to go ahead and say thank you for the photos, but I'm also going to ask them which they would prefer here. I'm going to let them know I am happy to provide either a replacement or a refund, whichever they would prefer. And I'm also going to just throw in the extra question there that if they would like a replacement, just let me know if you would like it to be shipped to a different address than the original order. And then I'll close out by just saying thank you so much. And again, I apologize for the issue. And now I'm going to wait for a response from this customer before I go submit an issue. Because if they want a refund instead of a replacement, I need to know that before I go back to the provider. In this case, we'll assume it's going to be Printful because we'll take a look at how that process is different. So now let's pretend the customer has messaged me back and they say, I would actually prefer a refund because now, it's past this person's birthday and I ended up giving them something else because this was broken. So now they don't want the mug anymore. Okay. So we're going to have to ask for a refund. And then we're going to have to refund them on the Etsy side of things. So let's go to Printful and we will submit our request first. All right, so here we are on our Printful order dashboard. We're going to bring up the order. And the problem report button is the one we're looking for. They call it something slightly different on Printful. It's the button that is right next to the tracking information for the order. And so you're going to click on problem report. And you're going to choose the option that says I have a problem with an order I received, because the other option is for a shipping issue. You're going to have to attach the photo that the customer provided. And again, you want to make sure that what the customer provided you is a clear photo where you can see the design so that they can verify it's, the product that they actually shipped, and as well as the damage. So attach the photo or photos that were provided, and then they don't have a whole form that has multiple questions. They just have one big free form box on Printful. So we're going to have to type the whole thing in here. And so this is what I'm going to say to Printful. I'm going to say the customer received a mug with a chip. They would prefer a refund as it was a gift and now it's too late. And then I will click report problem. And I'm going to wait for a response before I go ahead and process the refund for the customer on Etsy. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to get a credit for it. The only reason I wait for the response from Printful is just in case they ask for an additional photo and I need to go back to the customer before processing the refund, because I don't want to give them a refund and then have to go back and ask for an additional photo. So I still wait for the response from Printful or Printify first, and then I go ahead and process that refund. All right, now we're back in our Etsy shop and we've got our order open, and where we're going to go is under more actions, and we're going to select refund. I don't select cancel in this case because the customer did receive an item. I'm not canceling the order. I'm just providing a refund. So select refund. It'll open a new window and it will give you the option to select a reason for the refund. In this case, I'm going to select item was damaged. And then in message to buyer, I'm just going to, give them a message to let them know, like refunding as discussed, apologies for the issue. And then I'm going to check the box here to issue a full refund because I'm not doing a partial refund. So I'm just going to check that box. And that's it. Then I click on the review refund. It gives you one more pop-up window, and then you submit the refund. Now, both the customer and you will receive a confirmation email about this. The customer will see that message you put in there, and then you will get a confirmation email once Etsy actually processes the refund. You also may need to let the customer know that the Etsy transaction processing may take 2 to 3 business days. Usually it's pretty quick. Sometimes next day the customer actually sees the refund in their bank account or on their credit card. But I've also had it take like 2 to 3 business days before. So if the customer asks you about that, just let them know, it's not me that's processing the refund, it's Etsy. And so it can take 2 to 3 business days. So that's how you process the refund and resolve that side of the issue in case the customer does want a refund. You get that refund for yourself in your account with either Printful or Printify, and then you process the refund here in Etsy. Oh, and don't forget, I just started the POD Insights podcast. It's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and a few other platforms. And we're going to talk about everything to do with print on demand on the Etsy platform on that podcast. New episodes are coming out just about every week, so check that out if you like to listen to your information in addition to seeing it. So that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful for you in resolving issues with your customers as far as broken or damaged items. Let me know in the comments if it was. And also, please give me a like on this video and subscribe to see new videos from POD Insights. It'll really help me out with the YouTube algorithm. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.